Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. It's really interesting to watch how the public reacts to minimum wage employees taking lunch breaks. Of all things, especially when the employees don't have a break room and have to eat out in the customer area. The things you'd think they'd understand perfectly, they don't. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. You're working. That's no time to eat. I work in a mall store doing tech repair. Today, I closed the store for about 15 minutes to go get food from the food court. I didn't eat breakfast, so I'm starving for some cheesesteak. I got the pepperoni cheesesteak, and yes, it's delicious. Anyways, I get back to the store and start reopening when a lady comes fast-stepping into the store. Big handbag, the haircut, big sunglasses. I sigh and put on my customer service persona. Hi, welcome to Store Name. How can I help you today? Excuse me, I came by earlier and you were closed. I need my phone fixed and I'm very busy today. I apologized and explained I had to go get food, pointing at my cheesesteak, which I was eating when she came in. Clearly, it's lunchtime. You're at work. You're not supposed to eat at work. Again, I apologize and explain how I didn't eat breakfast and my blood sugar was tanking. She interrupts me and screams about how it's unprofessional to eat at work and it's rude to close the store for something as trivial as basic human sustenance. I apologize for the third time and change the subject. I ask how I can help her. My phone won't charge. It's been dead for 3 days. Now, this I know how to handle. I plug her phone into my amp meter and there's a trickle of power going in. It's reading around 0.47 average. I take a pair of tweezers and in her charging port was a few little clods of dust and pocket lint. I pull it back in, it's charging perfectly. I hand it back and start to explain it'll be free because it's an easy repair when she starts yelling about how I couldn't have fixed it that fast and it's not okay to short a customer. So I cue some malicious compliance. She wants it done right? I'll do it right. I pull a chair up for her and turn on some music and open the phone up. I fiddle around with the charging port for a while, pretending to fix a phone I'd already fixed. Now, since I've opened the phone, I have to charge her $50 for labor. She scoffs and claims she knows I tried to waste her time. She pays the $50 and leaves, and I have a good laugh over making a sale that I didn't need to make for a phone that didn't need a repair. And our second story. I fired a long-term employee for blatant insubordination. I, 34-year-old male, was promoted to a mid-level management position at my job about 4 months with a path towards the executive level. I've worked at this company for almost a decade, and the promotion was given to me after I completed my master's degree. However, my new position is slightly different than the work I was previously doing for the company, so I'm still learning a lot every day and trying my best to catch up to the workers I now supervise. I will admit that there's been a bit of a learning curve for me, but for the most part, the people I have working underneath me have been helpful and supportive. Except for James. James is in his 50s and has been with the company for over 20 years. He's stubborn, thinks he knows the job better than anyone else, is very outspoken, and absolutely hates that a person 20 years younger than him is his new boss. From day one, James has questioned almost every decision I've made. Not in a supportive or helpful way either. He will undermine me and make a point of calling me out in front of other employees. I admit that he has a wealth of knowledge that I do not yet possess. I've talked to him privately on a couple of occasions about how he's behaved since I became his boss. I told him that a lot of what he's doing is unacceptable and gave him a written warning after a particularly bad incident where he called me a derogatory name loudly enough I had multiple other employees tell me about it. That was maybe 2 months ago, and he's been better since. But last week, he again openly criticized my decision-making in front of other employees and refused to go along with my plan because it's effing dumb. So I called him into my office and fired him on the spot. He yelled and pointed his finger in my face, so I told him either he quietly leaves or I have security escort him out of the building and parade him in front of everyone. He shut up and left, but gave me a few parting words on his way out. I tried to address my employees before the rumor mill got too out of hand, and I told them all why I made the decision I did and what I expect of everyone moving forward. Pretty much all of them agree that I made the right choice, but there are a few older guys who worked with James for a long time that I know don't agree. I can just tell by the way they interact with me now. I asked a guy I trust if there's been a lot of talk amongst the workers, and he said there's only a few guys who side with James. He agrees I did the right thing to remove James' toxicity from the workplace, but there are a few guys who share some of James' views on having a younger boss and think I purposely made an example of him. I think I was pretty tolerant of James, probably for too long, but he was the first person I've ever fired, and I'm still questioning myself over it. Sounds like he did the right thing and improved the workplace for many employees. It's not like he wasn't warned. And our last story. I'll try to lawyer, if you insist. So this happened in 2015, just a few months after my husband had suddenly passed away. He passed in November of 2014. At the time, I was a bartender and had a small chicken farm, so I worked nights and during the day would tend to my little hobby farm. I say little, I actually had over 50 chickens. This will be important later on in the story. At the time, I had my cell number since about 2011, so about 4 years before I started receiving these calls. Every time an unfamiliar number would come up on my caller ID, it'd be a call from someone who was trying to reach a local legal aid attorney or court-appointed attorney. I would explain that they had the wrong number, and most people would apologize and let it go. Sometimes they would turn around and call right back, and again I would tell them, "I'm sorry, but you have the wrong number. I'm not your attorney." Most of the time, I'd let it go to voicemail and not bother with it. Unless they kept calling, then I'd let them know they had the wrong number. Again, most people were fine and polite with it. But this one time, CL will be crazy lady that needs an attorney, imagine that. Attorney is the attorney, me is me, and judge is the judge. CL had called several times, leaving a voicemail every time, and each and every voicemail was almost impossible to understand. About all I could understand was that she was trying to reach an attorney, and she was becoming increasingly agitated that said attorney was not answering or returning her calls. Eventually, the voicemails became screaming rants with a lot of cursing. Remarkably, I could understand the curse words. Finally, I answer the call, thinking that I would explain to her that she had the wrong number, and then maybe, just maybe, she would quit calling me every day to leave nasty voicemails. Nope. Me. Hello? CL. This is whatever her name was, and I've been calling you for weeks now. Not true. And you've been ignoring me. Me. Ma'am, I'm sorry, but you have the wrong number, and I hang up. She called right back. Again, I explained to her that she has the wrong number, and she begins to curse and tell me she knows she has the right number. Click, I hang up again. And wonder of all wonders, the nut job calls again. CL, you better not hang up on me, you B. I know you work for attorney, and you're not giving him my messages. Me. Ma'am, I don't know that attorney, and you have the wrong number. Please stop calling me. Click. I hang up again. She calls back again. I didn't realize telling someone they had the wrong number for the umpteenth time was complicated to understand. Guess I was wrong, and she calls again. CL, I have court. It was either the next day or a couple of days after. It's been years, so I don't remember. Anyway, she has court coming up and said if attorney doesn't show up for court, she's going to tell the judge that the attorney took her money and have the judge call me in court, and I'm going to jail. Okay, nut job, whatever. I knew when the number came across on my caller ID that it was a number from the part of the country where the courthouse, etc. were located, so I answered. Judge, may I speak with attorney? Me. Sir, you have the wrong number. Judge, I'm not playing games with you, girl. This is Judge Blank, and I better get the attorney there within a few hours. It was late morning, and the lawyer needed to be there by after lunch. Me. Your Honor, I have repeatedly told this lady she has the wrong number. I am not an attorney. I am in fact a bartender at the local honky-tonk, and I am a hobby chicken farmer. I am not an attorney. Please understand during this there are several roosters in my yard, ducks and guinea fowl. The roosters are having a crowing contest, and all the animals are pretty rowdy. It's spring after all. So I continue to explain to the judge that I am not a lawyer, and I am up to my elbows in chicken crap cleaning out the coop, which we'd been using a deep bed method during the winter, and since it was getting warmer, didn't need to keep that much bedding, and, well, it stunk. For the record, every time she called and I answered, you could either hear chickens in the background or extremely loud music from the bar where I worked. I continued to explain to him that I'm sure that I stink pretty bad and that I didn't know anything about being a lawyer, but I had pretty good knowledge of raising chickens and making drinks. I continued to tell him that I could probably make it there after lunch, but that I really needed to finish cleaning out my coops and would then need to take a shower and get dressed, but if he really needed me to come be a lawyer, I would certainly try. I remember telling him I guess I could lawyer if I tried, and I'd done pretty good helping my attorney during my divorce a few years before. I didn't even give him time to respond until I said what I had to say. Judge: I don't think that'll be necessary, ma'am. I apologize for wasting your time. Me: do you think you could tell this lady to stop calling me several times a day because I'm tired of being yelled at and cursed at for not being her attorney? I explained to him she'd threatened me and harassed me and that I was really tired of it. He assured me he'd take care of it. Never heard from CL again and would have completely forgotten this until I had a voicemail from someone looking for an attorney. I did later find out from an acquaintance that this is an attorney that I do indeed have the number that previously belonged to a legal aid defense attorney. She figured it out when she was programming my phone number in her phone for totally unrelated business, LOL. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.